Hey, what's up guys, it's DarkArmedDuelist, and today I'm going to be doing a Morphtronic deck. So I'm really excited for this one because this deck is a deck that actually synchro summons like crazy and uses one of the OG Signer Dragons, which is Power Tool Dragon. I really love this deck because it's just super fun to be able to synchro summon like crazy, and I really want to give a shout out to someone who's really helped me out with this deck and understanding this deck when I was playtesting it to actually get this deck to work, and that is the Common Collector. He actually does a really good explained deck profile of the Morphtronic deck as well, and actually helped me understand it when I was building my Morphtronic deck as well, to understand the combos and the concepts of the deck. So if you guys wouldn't mind checking out his channel down in the description below, his channel will be down there so you guys can go sub to him, and he's trying to get to 1,000 subscribers, so if you guys would check that out, it would be much appreciated to me and to him. But I'm kind of doing it as a surprise thing, so if he gets an influx of subscribers, he won't know why, and it's kind of funny. So anyways guys, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell next so you can come part of the notification squad, and definitely check out the Patreon down in the description because we got some awesome rewards, you guys, like getting a signed card sent to you in the mail, getting a your link in the getting your name in the description of every single video, or even getting requested deck profile just like this one and every single month to your patron. So without further ado, let's get straight on into this. So first off, we're going to be playing 3 copies of Morphtronic Selphon. Selphon is the one that you always want to see going first because this card is insanely good, especially Machine Dupe, because it's not a once per turn effect, because this was before they had once per turn effects. So if you guys don't know what basically Morphtronics do, they have different effects between being in attack and defense mode, which is really cool. So what this card does when it's in attack mode is when it's in attack position, you can once per turn, for each copy, you can roll a 6-sided die and then special summon 1 level 4 or lower Morphtronic monster, but you get to reveal cards equal to the number that you rolled. So like if you roll a 6, you excavate the top 6 cards off your deck and then special summon a Morphtronic monster from those 6 that you excavated. When it's in defense position, you get to once per turn roll 6-sided dice, look at cards from the top of your deck equal to the number you roll, and then return them in the same order. So it lets you look at cards on the top of your deck, which is not that great. You're usually going to use the attack position effect. Then we use 3 copies of Smart Fawn. Smart Fawn is really cool because it can't be normal summon or set. It must be special summoned from your hand by banishing a Morphtronic from your graveyard, which is really good as an extender and is a Earth tuner, I will point out to you guys, which is really good. It also has the effect that when it's in attack position, you can once per turn roll a 6-sided die, excavate that many cards from the top of your deck, and then add an excavated Morphtronic card from those cards, and then put them back, shuffle the cards back into your deck, the ones that you didn't pick. And then when this card's in defense position, you can roll 6-sided die, look at as many cards from the top of your deck, and then place them on top of the deck or the bottom of the deck in any order, equal to the number that you rolled. We then play 3 copies of Morphtronic Scopin. Scopin is really good too. Scopin's a really good card because when it's in attack position, you can special summon a level 4 Morphtronic monster from your hand, but destroy during the end phase. But you're usually going to use it to synchro summon because this card is a tuner in the deck as well, which is going to help out. But when it's in defense, it becomes a level 4, which does come up sometimes to help you synchro summon into some of your other monsters. We have played 3 copies of Morphtronic Remoten. Remoten is neat because it's a tuner and is a level 3 tuner as well, which is going to help out with some of the combos later on in the video. But it also has the ability that when it's in attack position, you can once per turn remove from play a Morphtronic from your graveyard and add a Morphtronic with the same level as that monster from your deck to your hand, which is going to be super helpful just to get you additional plays out of the deck. It also has the ability when it's in defense position that you can send a Morphtronic monster from your hand to the graveyard and add a Morphtronic monster with the same level as that monster from your graveyard to your hand, so that you tag in and out. Usually the attack position effects are the ones that you're really going for. Then we play 3 copies of Boomboxen. Boomboxen is a Earth monster, so that's really pretty much all Boomboxen is an Earth monster, and that's all you ever use it for. And it's a Morphtronic monster. When it's in attack position, it can attack twice during each battle phase, but being 1200 attack doesn't do that much. If it's in defense position, you can once per turn, when a face-up Morphtronic monster is selected as an attack target, you can negate the attack. So it's kind of like, you don't really, it's just a level 4 Earth monster that's a Morphtronic that you can special summon off effects. I mean, if we had a better one, we would use it, but it's the best Earth. I mean, it's the only Earth level 4 I think that the entire archetype has. Then we play 3 copies of Vacuumin. Vacuumin is really good in this deck because it's almost kind of like Relinquished in a way, because when it's in attack position, you can once per turn send an equip card to this card to the graveyard to inflict 500 points of damage to your opponent. And this is the one that's actually good if it's in defense position, because what it does is when it's in defense, you can once per turn equip 1 face-up attack position or monster your opponent controls to this card as an equip card. It's relinquished when it's in defense position. So if you use cards like Machine Duplication with your Vacuumin, you can just take 2 cards or 3 cards off your opponent's side of the field, which is really good to just get 3 cards off your opponent's side of the field. Use them as link material. Use this as link material. Use it as a Synchro Summon. Use it as anything. It just gets cards off your opponent's side of the field. And then I play 1 copy of Sling. 1 copy of Sling is just all I feel like you need, because when it's in attack position, you can tribute Morphtronic and then destroy a card on the field. And when it's in defense, you can destroy another Morphtronic monster you control instead if it will be destroyed, which is pretty good. I thought about, there's a Morphtronic that boosts them up by like 800 that I thought about playing instead of Sling, but I just kind of left it as Sling in there just in case I wanted to pop something on the field, so I left it as a 1-of. So that's it for the monsters, guys. Let's get into the spells. This card is insane, by the way. Self-On is just insane. If it was in any other archetype, that card would be banned. For real. So, 1 copy of Monster Reborn just as an extender. This card's really, really good just to extend your plays. 1 copy of Foolish Burial just to get you extra plays out of the deck, because it's really important just to get those extra monsters in the graveyard so you can just get plays off of Junk Box and stuff like that. 2 copies of Morphtronic Accelerator. Accelerator lets you return a Morphtronic from your hand to the deck and then destroy a card and then draw a card, so it can get you those cards out of your hand that are kind of bricks to be able to draw extra cards, which is super nice to be able to do. And it pops something on the field, so it's kind of an even break-even card, because it destroys something on your opponent's side of the field. You get to draw and you get to put something back in the deck. So it's 2 from you and your opponent, and then this card, and then you get to draw a card as well. So it's kind of breaks even-ish, but it's good to be able to pop stuff. And then we play 3 copies of Junk Box. Junk Box is crazy. It's basically just Monster Reborn. It lets you target a level 4 or a lower Morphtronic in your graveyard and special summon it in any position. It doesn't matter which way you summon it, you special summon it. Desynchro is a 3-of in here because you can use stuff like I've explained in previous videos with like Fableds and stuff like that. If you have cards on your side of the field like Formula Synchron, you can desynchro these and then synchro summon back into them, and it's a draw 1. This is essentially Upstart Goblin when you have Formula Synchron on your side of the field. And if you have copies of Hyper Librarian on your side of the field while you have your Formula Synchron on your field, it's a Pot of Greed, which is really good. So then we play 3 copies of Machine Duplication. Machine Duplication lets us special summon out the majority of our Morphtronic monsters. You can special summon out Self-On. Self-On plus Duplication is essentially a Quasar with Nat Beast and a bunch of other stuff, which is nasty. This Machine Dupe plus Self-On is like crazy. Like, it's legitimately crazy. You can special summon out copies of Remoten. You can special summon out Self-On, Remoten, Smart Fawn, and Vacuumin off of this card, which is going to be the 4 that you can actually summon out of Machine Dupe. So you have plenty of targets for Machine Dupe. We play 2 copies of DDR, which is Different Dimension Resurrection. Different Dimension Resurrection is really good because it lets you discard a card and then target one of your banished monsters and special summon it in attack position and equip it with this card, because you have cards in the deck that actually banish stuff, which is, you know, gonna come up. And with Power Tool Dragon, you can grab this card directly out of your deck. 3 copies of Morphtronic Repair Unit. Repair Unit is really good because Repair Unit lets you send a Morphtronic monster from your hand to the graveyard and then select a Morphtronic in your graveyard and special summon that target and equip this card to it. And it can't change its battle position, and then when the equipped monster is removed in the field, destroy this card as well, which is kind of like all equipped spells. But it's searchable with Power Tool Dragon, so you want to play it as a 3-of. And it just is such a good extender because you can just summon back your copies of like Smart Fawn, Self Fawn, and just resolve their effects again and again and again and again, and just keep special summoning over and over and over again and loop all the way into a Quasar with this deck, which is really fun to do, I might add. Then we play 3 copies of Call by the Grave. Call by the Grave is really good in here because you just negate hand traps, and it's really pivotal to negate those hand traps. You really, really, really need to negate the hand traps in this deck, so you play the 3 copies of Call by the Grave. So that's it for the main deck, guys. Let's get into the extra deck. So for the extra deck, we're going to be playing a single copy of Power Tool Dragon. You only need a single copy of Power Tool Dragon because it's really a good extender, but you just need the 1-of. And definitely give us a like, guys, and a subscribe if you're not, because we do have the Power Tool Dragon playmat just for this, which actually, fun fact for you guys, this is actually the Raging Battle Sneak Peek mat, which was the first ever Sneak Peek mat that they ever released in the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! Crimson Crisis, the set before this, did not have it. And I actually own every single sneak peek mat in the entire game of Yu-Gi-Oh, which is cool. That's why you see so many different mats on the channel. But what it does is once per turn during your main phase, you can select 3 equipped spells from your deck and have your opponent randomly pick 1, and then you add it to your hand, and then you shuffle the rest back in the deck. And if this card will be destroyed while equipped with an equipped card, then you can send that equipped card to the graveyard instead. You're basically just using this to search your copies of the repair unit, and it's just a good one-of just to grab those cards. One copy of Shooting Quasar Dragon is the secret boss monster of the deck. It's really easy to summon in this deck because you just have to have 2 level 5s and a 4 endless synchron on your side of the field to go into this card. So it's really, really easy to go into this card and just totally negate everything. One copy of Shooting Star Dragon. Shooting Star Dragon is really good because it can also be summoned off of the Shooting Quasar Dragon. Because if Shooting Quasar Dragon leaves the field, you special summon a copy of this card, which is really, really, really good, just to replace it on your side of the field. One copy of Stardust Dragon, in case you want to summon out the copy of... in case you want to summon out this legitimately without using the Shooting Quasar Dragon, you can use Stardust Dragon to summon this, and it's really fun to be able to do that. And I thought it'd be cool for style points to play Stardust Dragon in this deck, so I did. Satellite Warrior as well is a really good card in this deck because it's really easy to summon this as well with just using Power Tool Dragon. Because if you use the Power Tool Dragon to summon this card, you use Power Tool plus a copy of Remoten, and you just immediately summon out the copy of Satellite Warrior, and pop cards on your opponent's side of the field equal the number of Synchro monsters in your graveyard, and it gains 1,000 attack for each Synchro monster or each card that was popped as well, which is really good. One copy of Trishula, which is really easy to go into in this deck as well. You can just Synchro summon this card ridiculously easily and go after your opponent for a monster or a card in their hand, field, and graveyard. Crystal Wing, another really easy card to go into in this deck because we have cards like... you have really easy Synchro monsters to go into this card, like Power Tool Dragon. You can go in, instead of going Satellite Warrior, you can go Power Tool Dragon and use a level 1 tuner monster to go in this card, which is really, really, really easy. It's just such a good card, like Smart Fawn. You can use Smart Fawn plus Power Tool Dragon to go into this card really easily. We play a single copy of TG Hyper Librarian because it's one of the best Synchro monsters for Synchro Spam decks, and this is a Synchro Spam deck. Now, again, shout out to Common Collector because he's actually, this is his tech card that I'm about to show you guys. So shout outs to him. Definitely check him out in the description below so you guys can go subscribe to his channel. It'd be a big help to him. So definitely check it out. So we're going to play a single copy of Shunui Sword Saga. This is something that he played in his deck, and I started testing it out, and I was like, oh my god, this is actually good. So what it does is you can, when you Synchro summon this card, you can change the battle positions of one monster on the field. So it lets you switch the battle positions of like your copies of Smart Fawn and stuff like that. And plus, since TG Hyper Librarian is limited to 1, you Synchro Summon into TG Hyper Librarian first, then Sword Saga, and then you can Synchro Summon into your copies of your Quasar Dragon. So you use these 2 plus a Formula Synchron to go into Quasar Dragon, which is the way that you summon it. We then play a single copy of Naturia Beast. You can use the Naturia Beast if you want to Synchro Summon into Quasar Dragon. I wouldn't recommend it, but you can. Herald of the Arclight is another card that I play as a one-of. It's really easy to summon in this deck because you have plenty of level 1s and level 3 Synchro monsters, or level 2 or level 3 tuner monsters like Remoten and Smart Fawn. Or not Smart Fawn, but Selthon. You can use those 2 monsters, Synchro Summon into Arclight, and you have a negation on board. 2 copies of Formula Synchron because it lets you draw like crazy in the deck, and it's a really good card. Soryuja, I play Soryuja in this deck because it's easy to put multiple monsters on the board. Getting you a special summon to your side of the field is ridiculously good, and special summoning a monster from your hand can just extend your plays, and digging through the deck to grab what you need is really good, because you could grab something, like you have a Smart Fawn in your hand, and then you dig out a copy of Machine Dupe after you've gone into this card, and you just win. Like, it's over with. As long as you have resources left, and you have like 2 Smart Fawns in the deck, or not Smart Fawns, but Selthons in your deck, and you summon that, you got it. Like, it's game. You're going to summon Quasar, you're going to go after your opponent, you're going to have Skuldred, Quasar, Naturia Beast, Herald, Satellite. I mean, it's on. Like, if your opponent doesn't stop it, it's on. And then 1 copy of a Crystron Needle Fiber. Needle Fiber is really good too because when you summon it to your side of the field, you can special summon a tuner monster, which can be Smart Fawn. It can be your copies of Remoten. It can be anything that you need just to get out on your side of the field. It can be Scopin. Scopin's really good to summon too off of this card. But it also lets you use your Formula Synchron. So if you end on like a Crystal Wing and you know you're going to need to pop cards on your opponent's side of the field, like if Crystal Wing already negated on your opponent's turn and you have this on your side of the field, you can get rid of this and then summon out your Formula Synchron and then use Crystal Wing and Formula to go into Satellite and then pop multiple cards on your opponent's side of the field, because you're automatically going to get 2 and it's going to go to 4,500 just off of having those 2 in the graveyard. So this is a really good card to play in the deck. So anyways, guys, that's it for the deck. I hope you guys don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and definitely check out the Common Collector. He has some awesome content over on his channel. Again, this is kind of a surprise. He doesn't know that I'm actually doing this for his channel, so definitely go over there and subscribe and just, you know, see if he can get how many subscribers he can get off of you guys, because it really would help out his channel and really help out because he's an aspiring YouTuber. And I remember when I was at that point, when I was at 400 or 500 subscribers, and I was like, man, I don't know how I'm going to do this. This is crazy. But it's really nice to just give back to the community and help out. So definitely go over there and subscribe to his channel. Be a big help and be a big, big, nice thing to do. So anyways, guys, this is DarkArmedDuelist. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell so you can become part of the notification squad, and definitely tell what you think of this deck down in the comments down below, and check that description again for that Common Collector. He is really a good YouTuber, and I'll see you guys in the next video. See you later, guys. Don't forget to check the Patreon. See you later, guys.